do this. It's the same with the setting in a side-out game or transition game. We, as outside hitters, like to see certain balls, and I'll ask all my hitters who will speak to the setter, how do you want your transition ball? How do you want it? Because we had our setter setting transition balls at times off the net. Off the net, it gets a big block. You are going to have a very difficult time to score. It may be counterintuitive, but against a big block, you want it tight. So you can go up there and bang it off, stick it in, push it out, hold it, cover it. But the setter has to set the ball that the hitter wants. He can't just set what he wants. Sometimes with a big block, it's counterintuitive that you set the ball off the net. It's very difficult to use an array of your shots off the net. But if it's on the net, think about it in beach. If it's on the net, you can do a lot with it. You can go in, you can push it, you can wipe it, you can throw it. Left sides, if you're developing them, get them to play beach volleyball. Some of the best left sides in the world play beach. Story of Giovanni Gatti from Brazil. He won the Olympic gold in 1992. He was with the team before, but he spent a quad 4 years on the beach because he thought he'd become a beacher. Relatively successful, but not the success he wanted. Came back in and played with their national team again and was a much improved player. Every touch you have to make a decision on. You've got to play every ball, every second ball. You've got to do stuff with the ball, with your hand, in the wind, in different conditions all the time. Being forced into different situations. Volleyball is a situational game. You're in the same situation outside in that spot a million times, but it's never exactly the same. It's a little bit different every single time. From the height of the pass to the point where the setter takes the ball, to the speed of the ball, to the movement of the blocker, how quick is he going, how early or late is the hitter, is the defense moving or not. Every set to 4, the toughest set, the longest distance, is a different situation. The only way to get good at it is being put in it more and more times and have to try and use and be creative. A mentor of mine is not even a volleyball mentor, just says to me, I talked to him about the era that we've created with entitled kids and kids that don't want to work that hard. And his words to me were, John, let them fail. Just let them fail. So I don't make it easy for my players. I make it difficult for them in many different aspects. I don't give them answers. I don't write them reference letters if they give me one day notice. I said, sorry, that's not going to work. I need more notice than that. Make them have to want it to do it. Put them in adversity. Adversity creates character. It challenges you. So make them see the situation. And how do you see the situation on the left side? Your passing becomes good enough that you never leave the court. Otherwise, when you're off the court, you're not learning. In practice, I don't talk nearly this much. My theory is, if the balls aren't in the air, we're not getting better. So it's all sound bites and in and out, and we stop very little. If the balls aren't flying, we're not getting better. But it's about seeing the situation to develop your range of shots. I didn't speak about the window. The window is where you can take the ball. When you take it here, 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 here. I think of somebody with a big window, Paul Berton. Used to be looking at a sharp spot for a ball from here and a line shot practically from behind his head, as well as up here, deep over the 5. We look at our 2 right sides on the national team, Dallas Seniors. Left-handers often have a different window, right? They put the ball way out here beside their body. But sometimes they can pull it back over here. Really throws off the ball. When we played Piva in Edmonton, that was a painful match to watch. The right side killed us, Cepeda. We thought we were blocking with a 3-man block, but we weren't. Because every time he attacked the ball, our block had flown by what I call the drop point. The ball where the hitter's going to put contact, the block point was here. Cepeda was hitting against the 1-man block every time. I think he hit one out when we got him. We're a good blocking team in Canada, but we just weren't disciplined enough to know we've got to get on the drop point. Otherwise, our 3-man block is going to be ineffective. And a banger, the more they bang and the more success they have, the more progression usually between a banger and a powerful shot maker. You become a powerful shot maker with power and shots, then you're very difficult to deal with. You can bang your way out of any situation if it's your day and everything's going well. The right set is give it to the guy who's hitting 1,000 miles an hour, but you have to expand that game because people will adjust to you. So it's about constantly growing, being in that situation. And I'm sorry I didn't get to the passing part enough because we have to train the hands now like the forearms. I know there was talk about leaving the game. I don't think it's leaving the game. I have 3 words that I use about training the hands. Track, attack, up. And what we do is we use an elastic with 2 hoops. There's a hoop here, a hoop there, and there's an elastic that goes over top of it. The float serve has to go underneath the elastic, and the hand pass has to go above the elastic. You have to track the ball early off the hand, and if you start retreating, and the Italians use a drill, stolen again, they put a bench behind the passer so they can't back up. Counterintuitive, once again, seeing a ball moving quickly at you to go towards it, but you have to because the Mikasa moves so much. As soon as it passes the plate of the net, it's going to start to die. And then you got this. How many players do you do this and get called? Far too many. So you have to make quick choices, but you have to be proficient in both. If you've got a great platform and great forearms, fantastic. That's not usually the case now. You have to be able to use both to develop both. We train the hand pass very systematically every day with the guy on the box, serving down the line, just working on a technique, a coach right beside him, talking to him about his technique. It's not a volley. It's almost like a soccer goalie save. It's a push-up, track, attack up. Make it very simple, something they can remember. I've talked too much. It's almost time. Any questions or anyone would like that? Please. Well, it depends on where the set is. If I'm attacking in system and the ball's right up to the net, I could approach a lot more from inside the court. But if I'm hitting out of system ball and I'm a right-hander and it's coming from even there, that's going to be a really tough shot. I've got to triangulate to where that we triangulate my best approach to be able to use most of the court. Or at least triangulate how I think I'm going to hit the ball. If I don't have this, then I'm going to try to get in and hit the ball as hard as I can to deep one, which is something I really want to get to because my favorite shot on the left side is the ball to deep 5. And I have players constantly doing to themselves and trying to hit it. It's very difficult to do, to hit it to that fast medium. But it is golden. That's the golden spot. If you can hit it hard to that, but the ball has to go out before it comes down. We always have guys hitting down. It's almost like tennis. The tennis serve, the illusion on TV is that the ball goes down. The ball doesn't go down. It's got to go out before it goes down. And I talked about that with the jump serve as well. The jump serve has to go out before it goes down. If you start hitting it down, you're shooting to the net all the time. When I started jump serving, I made one rule for myself, and that was never into the net because we couldn't touch the net at that time. So my default miss was always wrong. And I said I was going to mention something about it. For jump serve, I have 4 key elements, my words. Somebody else can come up with theirs. Toss is everything. The toss is everything. Without it, you've got nothing. Then there's the 3 R's. Take a guess? Rhythm. You see guys that are in rhythm. You see a set on an approach. You can tell whether they're in rhythm or not. And it's he's waiting for it. Often outside hitters get underneath the ball.